quick now to the calls. Jeff in Texas, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Alex. I think I've identified one of the enemy's superstar destroyers, and this comes on the heels of your interview with George Hunt about the World Conservation Bank.
Yes.
Yeah, and I actually called mike-rivero on this on Friday, but I have a follow-up. This is the Global Environment Facility, and it claims to be the largest funder of projects to improve the global environment. It's an independent financial organization, and it moves massive amounts of first-world dollars.
Yeah, all the big central banks kick into it and a few other holding companies, yes.
Yeah, well, it's got members on its council that are actually sitting members of the Treasury Department, and I think you need to get somebody like a Paul Craig Roberts or
Paulson gives something like 10% of his money to it.
Well, we need. I think there's a lawsuit here. You can't have a sitting senior member of the Treasury Department also sitting on the board of a foreign bank.
I agree with you. Why don't you? And I'm aware of what you say, but I've never properly articulated it. I guess Hunt did. You need to write an article with the names and the facts and send it to writers@infowars.com. And I am aware of that. We have covered it, but we need it in print. So, I mean, but if this is all illegal. It's illegal to have Paulson give himself $210 million of the bailout money directly to himself. And Congressman Stern says, how'd you do that? Who gave you a waiver to do that? And Paulson says, the Treasury Department gave me a waiver. He was the head of the Treasury. That'd be like if I was a bank manager and I robbed the bank and I said, but I gave myself a waiver. I would be thrown into irons. Anything else, Jeff?
Need to blow this thing wide open, because if you look at their annual report and their stated history, you cannot tell who started this thing.
Well, that's really the World Conservation Bank. Give people the name again.
Yeah, it's thegef.org is the website, and it's the Global Environment Facility.
Yep. All right, appreciate your call. I mean, it's amazing, folks, what's going on. Again, the green tyranny is their way of taking over control of all facets of our lives. Tito in Canada, you're on the air.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Thanks for taking my call here. Just about to head into the Olympics as a helicopter flies overhead. You know, just keeping everything safe. Anyways, I haven't heard you talk about the Slovak security mistake earlier in the year, and it was maybe because I missed your show, but I wanted to know if you were aware about it and touched upon it on your show.
Refresh my memory.
Well, earlier in the year, January 6th, I believe, as a security drill in the Slovak airport.
Yeah, they put the bomb in the guy's luggage.
They put the bomb not only in the guy's luggage, and he flew unwittingly to Ireland, to Dublin, but once they realized that they didn't inform the Irish authorities for 3 days, and when they did, they initially tried to deny that they had any part of it. So this guy,
we did cover that at the time, and that looks like a botched false flag. Mike Rivero.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time we see this stuff being planted, what it is all of this security infrastructure. We talk about the military-industrial complex. Well, the complexes are continually changing. And now there's the security media complex that hypes the terror threat so that the security companies can make money. But if they don't actually have a security threat every once in a while, people start saying, why are we spending all this money? Why are we
Here's a parallel. There was a famous case, a decade ago in New York, where the guy owned the only windshield repair shop in a wide area, and he was caught bashing out windshields at night with a ball-peen hammer that he would then fix in the morning at his local office, local repair shops. Or it's well known that big antivirus companies are funding putting out viruses. I mean, it's very, very simple. It's like the mafia threatening to burn down your grocery store if you don't buy protection from them.
Yeah, it's very, very, very similar.
All right, appreciate your call, Tito. Mark, Chris, Eddie, Daniel, Michael, and others. More with Mike Rivero straight ahead. And we've got a guest joining us from England, where if you have a learning disability, a mild one, and try to have children, no questions asked, your children are taken by the state. Like you would take eggs from a hen. We've got a member of the British Parliament joining us. The British government wants to eradicate the family. That's stated policy. It's in major textbooks here in the U.S. and in England and in Europe. And now they're doing it. 20,000 homes, when a child is born, they say you must have cameras in the house to watch you to make sure you're not a bad parent. But then the government who abuses children, that's okay. Leave them alone. Well, now if you have a learning disability and you have a child, they take it. I mean, this is hardcore tyranny. Again, Hitler was obsessed with taking people's children. The Soviets were obsessed. North Korea, we've played documentary clips here where large portions of the population live in work camps, prison camps, and they put them for 5 days a year, men and women together, to have a baby, and then it's taken like eggs from a hen and raised by the state, so there is no family. I mean, this is really happening. Mike Rivero, your take on that?
Yeah, absolutely. The government is basically stepping in and treating us like we're a herd of crop animals, if you will. And as you say, they're breeding us, they're taking the children away because the state is presuming the right to brainwash the children to be servants of the state in the future. It's exactly what we saw under the Soviet Union, Nazi Germany, and now they're bringing it to the United States as well. This is why there's this ongoing campaign against homeschooling. They don't want the parents to be telling the kids anything that contradicts the will of the state.
On another subject, what do you think of Chavez saying he knows it's an earthquake weapon and the Russians told him so? We know they have tectonic weapons. Secretary Cohen of Defense talked about it in the late 90s. But, I mean, is Chavez going crazy? How can he just say it with no proof?
My understanding is that story was debunked as being another hoax along the same lines as when they were claiming Ahmadinejad said he was going to wipe Israel off the map. That Chavez did not actually say that. It's just somebody took a guess at it and the story got picked up. But I believe that Chavez has denied actually saying that now.
It was in one of the big state-run newspapers that we first saw it.
Well, so was the claim that Ahmadinejad was going to wipe Israel off the map.
And what he really said is we're going to push that government into the sea.
Actually, what Ahmadinejad said is the government of Israel must vanish from the pages of history, which is not quite the same thing.
Yeah, that's one of the quotes. I mean, that's like under the UN agreement, which they're not even signatories to, but they've been letting the UN in. They're supposed to tell the world 6 months before they open a new facility, before enrichment starts. They do that, and they say, oh, my God, we found a secret base, and it was on record that Iran announced it. I mean, it's just the level. But I even get fooled by it sometimes, Mike. Remember back on 888 in 2008? I get up at 7 in the morning. I turn the news on. The phone's ringing. CNN's got the leader of Georgia on saying we've been snuck attacked by Russia. Help us. We're under attack. And this went on for 3 hours. I got in to do the radio show and went, wait a minute. And people were saying, Alex, no, it is Russia attacking. And I'm like, wait a minute. Even the European news says Georgia attacked them. I mean, it's just the magnitude of lying, and then nobody gets in trouble.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case here. The corporate media just echoes what the government tells them to say, and as that Fox News synthetic bovine growth hormone lawsuit proved, there is no law that requires the corporate media to tell the truth to the American people. They can lie with impunity. The corporate leadership can actually fire reporters who refuse to lie when ordered to do so. That was the precedent set in this case. And the bottom line is they can say whatever they want, and absent of malice, they cannot be sued or punished in any way. It is legal to lie to the American people, for the media and for politicians.
But Monsanto was forced to sell that division, and Most Milk doesn't have it in it now, when Most Milk did previously. The only country in the world to accept it was the U.S. So in the end, the truth did come out.
Yes, it did, as it always does for synthetic hormones, MSG, aspartame.
Because of the internet, which is why they want to start reining it in and shutting it down. So we've got to stand up and say no and defeat that takeover as well. Thank you, Mike Rivero.